Hello and welcome to the second hour of American Agenda on this Friday afternoon. I'm Katrina Zish.
And I'm Bob Brooks. As always, thanks for joining us.
Well, we begin this hour with more news out of the ongoing war in Israel. U.S. Secretary Blinken said on Friday that, quote, far too many Palestinians have been killed as the IDF continues its search for hostages taken during the Hamas terror attacks on October 7th. And as we look, this is happening now as flares are being seen over Gaza. We saw the firing moments and, of course, the flares and the rocket fire just moments ago. That's what you're looking at in southern Israel. Well, let's bring in our expert panel to get their reaction. National Security and Foreign Policy Advisory Board member for Trump for President 2016 and the President and CEO for the Foundation for Democracy in Iran, Ken Timmerman, and senior fellow America First Policy Institute and Newsmax contributor Fred Fleitz. Great to see both of you gentlemen this afternoon. First, let's start with what just happened, what we were seeing just moments ago in southern Israel, the flares and the rockets. We're still trying to figure out exactly who was launching all of those. Fred, your overview of what is happening right now.
I think despite this talk of ceasefires and humanitarian pauses, Hamas continues to fire rockets and missiles at Israel from these underground tunnels, and Israel's doing what it has to do to defend itself. I think a lot of what we're seeing right now are Iron Dome missiles intercepting missiles being shot at Israel from Gaza. So, you know, for all this talk in the U.S., growing talk that we need a ceasefire, Hamas doesn't seem interested.
Ken, this has been going on now for quite a while, the last several minutes here, about 10, 15 minutes. Talk about that. Is that kind of what a rocket attack time frame is? Do they normally last this long? And can you shed any more light to what it is that is exactly going on? Is it Hamas shooting rockets, Israel intercepting them? What's happening here?
No, I think Fred is absolutely right on that. The last time that I was in one of the Israeli wars in 2006, when Hezbollah attacked from the north, from Lebanon, Israel did not have an Iron Dome system. They could not intercept those rockets. So instead of what you're seeing tonight, which is Israeli intercepts to defend the people of Israel, you just had attacks on civilian communities. By the way, which is what Hamas and Hezbollah, Iranian proxies, have always wanted to do, to kill more Jews.
Now, I want to go back, Fred, to what we mentioned in the beginning before we introduced you about Antony Blinken saying that too many Palestinians are being killed. Now, of course, we don't want to hear about anyone dying except maybe for taking out Hamas leaders, of course. But what does a statement like that do for U.S.-Israel relations?
I think it's reprehensible. There should be no daylight between the United States and Israel at this time, after the worst attack on the Jewish state, Jewish people, an act of genocide by Hamas. What we're seeing here is the administration is getting cold feet for electoral reasons. These massive protests against the war, and then Jill Stein, who's running for president on the Green Party ticket, she put out a very powerful statement yesterday calling for a ceasefire and calling for war crimes investigations of Netanyahu. The Biden administration is worried about this. That's why they're getting cold feet.
Yeah, Ken, is that what this is, cold feet from the Biden administration? It was only a matter of time when this war broke out. We talked about they would come in and say, okay, Israel, you've done enough. So now they're calling for these pauses. We heard about the 3-day pause. Is that what you think this is?
Well, I listened to Tony Blinken, the Secretary of State, say that if there is not a prolonged ceasefire, Arabs will become more radicalized. I don't know how much more radicalized on October 7th you can expect the Arab street to become. This is a pathetic statement from the administration. The Arabists in the State Department have been sending telegrams back, for example, from the embassy in Oman, talking about the worries of Arab diplomats around the world. Look, Israel needs to do what they have to do. They need a total victory. They have been restrained in every one of the 6 previous wars, and the restraint has led to a new war. Gaza needs to look like Berlin looked in May of 1945.
All right, Fred Fleitz, Ken Timmerman. Again, Israel needs to defend itself completely and entirely the way they see fit. All right, we appreciate both of you being with us. Thank you.
Good to be here.
Thank you.
And turning now to this, a New